Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. My name is Captain Frank Hawks, and welcome to this review of Star Trek Adventures, The Klingon Empire, Special Edition. This, my friends, has been a particularly amazing book thus far. I'm only about on page 38, and thus far, this is not like any other tabletop role-playing game book I've ever had my mitts on. So, in most games, you get basic fundamentals, the core rules, some equipment, how adventures are laid out, how combat works, how spells work, depending on the kind of game that you're talking about, and things of that nature. And I'm really quickly trying to find a particular picture. In this book, we get a fairly unabridged history from the Klingon perspective of Klingon history, language, culture, and the art in this book. My God. Okay, I'm looking for this particular scene. Give me just a second. This particular image is lifted right out of Star Trek III, The Search for Spock. That's Krug and the gang. I swear to God. Look at it. That's beautiful. The artwork in this book is outstanding. The details provided, amazing. You don't get game books like this. Thus far, there is data in here that you would not find outside of a source book. And this is the core rule book for Star Trek Adventures, The Klingon Empire. Now, if you know me, many of you don't, but if you know me, the second I have learned a tabletop role-playing game, I'm going to want to run it. And that's what my intentions are. That's what the final review will encompass, is I will run a game. And if I can, I will include that in a project that I'm working on where I run game on camera for YouTube for everybody. That's going to be a long episode. But anyways, thus far, this book has been outstanding. And if you know me, on every book that I review, I do a preliminary and a secondary video. I do a first impressions video and I do a final impressions video. More often than not, I have found that game books that are pertinent to a specific fandom-oriented subject, like Klingons. Klingons are very close to my own heart, my own passions. There may not be a lot of people who want to play this, but knowing the Star Trek fandom the way I presume the people who created this book do, they spent a lot of time on this. Now, this is the special edition version. I bought this on Amazon for approximately $66. And this is based on Star Trek Adventures 2D20 system. Give me a second here. Because, of course, I didn't prepare ahead of time. Now, $2D20. What does that mean? That means you take an attribute and you take a skill, I'm going to call it, or an ability, its status, and you add them together, and what you're looking to do is to roll under that level of points. Let's say 14. So as opposed to most D20 systems where you're looking to roll as high as is possible, you're trying to roll under a value, meaning that ones on 2D20s are considered better successes than 20s. 20s are considered fails. So I'm just rolling real quick. I rolled a 13 and a 2. I succeed. And depending on the number of successes that you have, and I'm going to pick different dice because I'm picky that way. But 10 and 6, 2 successes. Brilliant. The more successes you have, the better you did something, but not in the same way as most success systems work. Most success systems, you have a series of dice, be they 6-sideds or 10-sideds, depending on the system. And you have to roll a number of successes, like you have to roll pertinent to your skill level a minimum of 3 successes. Any success after that is gravy and is a scale upon which that skill improves. This is a 2d20 system in which you roll 2d20 or more depending on your momentum. And that's something that I'm just beginning to learn about, even though I'm not into the core rules of this book. Literally, nearly 40 pages, no core rules thus far. That's not necessarily a bad thing because it adds a lot of flavor and texture to this game. Now, do I recommend that you pick this up? Well, if you're new to this channel, you might know that we have a very specific reviewing system. 2 thumbs, way up, means highly recommend. Go out and get you one. You need this in your life. 2 thumbs up means it's pretty damn good and you should consider it. 2 thumbs down is tread these waters at your own peril. That's the way it has been since the very beginning. So, as far as our first impressions review, first impressions are good. However, it's got a lot of shit in it. It's got a lot of data in it. And a lot of beautiful artwork that I want to stare at for a long period of time so that I can study every little intricacy. Because I'm a Star Trek fan. So, as far as this first impression review is concerned, I'm only going to give it 2 thumbs up. It's pretty damn good. It's pretty damn good and you should consider taking a look at it. Especially considering the price. Most game books average about $50, $40 to $50, depending on how much information is there. This is very nearly 400 pages. Double column college rule. Very fine print for my aged eyes. And this is still pretty damn good. But there's a lot of information in here that you would normally find in, like, source books. The character sheets look pretty damn cool. We should probably find those and show those to you. This is the character sheet for your spaceship. And this is the front of the character sheet for a character. This is pretty damn cool. But it's also fairly streamlined. For a game system that quotes it and that I can quote itself as saying is fairly streamlined and fairly easy, this is a pretty hefty book. Nearly 400 pages for $60. Damn. So, 2 thumbs up. Give it a look. Tell me what you think. I think it's pretty damn nifty thus far, especially considering the fact that there's not a bunch of jargon on the back of the book, that there's no major labeling on the spine of the book, and that this is all the labeling there is. Mind you, this is the special edition version. I think it's neat. Check it out. Have fun, be safe, take care of each other. This is Captain Frank Hawks, and I'm signing out.